Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-November 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Cancer collective in mid-November? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in mid-November. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick for you, my friends. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. Very dreamy. I haven't seen this card in so long, and I do like it. As someone who also has many water sign placements myself, this is a vibe that we're pretty comfortable with, right? See that person in their PJs. It looks like they're having a little snooze. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this card more in depth. So as you can see there, we have this person. They got their eyes closed. They have their little nightcap on, little pajamas, dancing rodents, and it just seems like they're dreaming. There's a literal dream catcher. So this person is literally in dreamland. So we could look at this a few different ways. The energy that it carries to me is very similar to the Four of Cups. So could this be daydreaming? Could this be in the mind a little more so than normal? Listen, again, as someone with water placements myself, I know we get the reputation for having quite the imagination, quite the inner world. And that's what this card represents. Now, for some of you, that could be a great thing. This could be spirit saying like, hey, embrace your creative or your creativity. Get those creative juices flowing. If you're carrying some intense energy right now, maybe you need to put it outwards. For some of you, maybe you're doing a lot of thinking. Maybe you're having a little issue sleeping. Maybe you're having some funky dreams. It could be all that kind of stuff when this card is here. But that energy could be used for good. It could be used for productive purposes. Now, again, if you're in your mind a lot, you're doing a lot of thinking, a lot of daydreaming, no judgment, nothing wrong with that. But the energy to me feels like it can be channeled into other things. Very creative. So it would be great for problem solving, thinking outside of the box. So we're just going to let him chill right there. Keep having your little nap. We don't want to disturb, right? Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful Cancerian friends. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. There were some good spots, but the reading itself was titled The Surprising Problem. So it was a bit of a mixed bag. So there could have been various things that just kind of pop up out of the blue. We're like, yeah, I'm going, I'm moving, I'm flowing, and then boom, little setback just popping up. No huge deal, but just know that energy could bleed over for a little bit. And you know how life is. It throws curveballs from time to time. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Cancer. What do we got in mid-November? Huh. Okay. So we got 5 of Cups. All right. Well, maybe this one will start differently than the last one, where it's like the last one we might have started with really positive cards. But the next one over that came out with it is the 9 of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. Okay. And remember, it doesn't have to be you. Let's get one more out here, and we'll start piecing this all together. What we got? Okay. Queen of Pentacles, stable. I mean, I do like this card on the back end. That could be really good. It's like a nurturing, caring energy. So, again, a little bit of a mixed bag. It's all good, though. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, we have a bit of a mixture of elements this week, which is good. I always like looking at the elements because it tells us how the energy is flowing. Now, if we had too much of one element, that's where I get a little concerned, because then the energy could be lopsided. But we have water, we have fire, we have earth. Nice, even distribution of stuff we got going on here. Now, with water, that's your power element, that's your power place. So even though this card is kind of seen as a tense card where there's a lot of tension, this is actually where you might thrive. I really like water. It's the internal world. It's emotional, daydreamy, creative. It could tie to partnerships, connections, stuff like that. So we're just going to need to see what's up with that, because water energy could always flow. It could go from here to there and then back again. It could be very much up and down. Moving to the middle, we have wands, which is fire. That's the realm of action. So it's the actions we take, it's the actions other people take. It's your internal combustion engine. So it's like the energy level, the vitality, and the moves that you're planning on making, which I usually think is good. I have fire placements too. So there's a time and a place for it. The only downside to a lot of fire is that it could be a little unpredictable, right? This energy, this card itself, I wouldn't say is unpredictable, but the energy it carries, it's like, all right, this could go this way or that way, which can be good for progress. That's the one thing I like about it. The energy can progress in a nice way. And then here on the back end, we have Earth. That's another complementary energy for Cancer. So, Earth, that represents career, work, business, feelings of stability, home, family. So, think of the world we live in. That's what I think of with Earth. It's great for money. But at the same time, this energy could feel a little clunky at times. That's the downside to a lot of Earth. So with these two energies on the back end, they might be a little clunky for one reason or another. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we are starting with the Five of Cups. And you see that individual, they're all dressed in black. Three cups are spilled, two are still up, and they're crying a river. That's why a lot of readers call this the River of Tears. Now, I always say it's on a spectrum. It doesn't always have to be worst case scenario, full on broken heart or anything like that. Could just be a little gloominess, could be a little depression, could be a little anxiety, could be a mixture of all that stuff. But yeah, it can range from very minor to pretty major. It really depends. So this is one of the cards of tension. There's a pressure point here with this card. So we'll want to look at it. Um, Hopefully you're not feeling down when I see this card. But the good thing about it is that it's not permanent. And remember, every card has positive and challenge. So the positive of the Five of Cups is that there are still two cups standing. There is still stuff on the horizon. There is still future to be had. So, like, to me, any issues, problems, situations, it's just showing the temporary state of it with this Five of Cups. So we will look into that deeper. Now, the one that's really piquing my interest is the one that we have in the center. So let's get him tucked in by the amethyst. Maybe that'll help him feel better. You chill out right there, my friend. We have the Nine of Wands, and this is called the Wounded Warrior. So it does kind of go with the Five of Cups. We have something that happens, then the Wounded Warrior shows up. Now, let's go with the positive aspects first. This could be a very protective, territorial type of energy, not in a bad way, but it's an energy that has seen some things. It's an energy that's been through some things, and it's like, all right, I've seen this before, or I won't be fooled again. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Or you know the phrase I'm talking about here. I don't want to sound like George Bush meme, but when I see it, it's somebody that's on the lookout for something. There's an energy with this card of skepticism, right? So to me, it's like there could be someone or something where you're like, I don't know how I feel about this. You could have your guard up in one way or another. This can represent blockages, miscommunication. So watch out for anything regarding communication with this card. In its roughest sense, this can be a card of rejection. So for some of you, maybe there's a behavior you're rejecting, a thought process you're rejecting. Maybe you're feeling this way, especially with the Five of Cups. So it all really depends on what clarifies it. But this energy is most definitely on the lookout and can be skeptical. Now, with all that being said, with those first two cards, we finally get to the silver lining on the back end. We have the beautiful Queen of Pentacles herself. Now, this could be an earth sign, so Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. If that's not the case, the Queen of Pentacles is very similar to the Empress to me. When I see her, I think of blessings, abundance, wins, victory, stability. I really like this card. It's the cup runneth over. It's great for business, work, and money, but not just that. It's an energy that seems to get better. So, like when we go from the Five of Cups to the Nine of Wands, this could be a healing process of some sort. Then the stability here on the back end, which can be seen as very good. But the downside to the Queen of Pentacles, yeah, sometimes she could not be moving, not doing much, a little stubborn in her ways when we see this card. So we'll want to look into it further. But I'm getting a good feeling off this Queen of Pentacles. I can definitely tell you that. So we'll just have to see. I'm hoping that this is like a happy ending of some sort. But let's dive deeper on all of it, Cancer. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Five of Cups. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Five of Cups time. Why is it here? Thank you. Okay. So lovers in the upright, partnerships, connections, and this doesn't necessarily have to be you. There could be someone that is very important to you that could be going through some trials here, and it's like when they hurt, I hurt. That's how the energy feels to me, like on an intuitive level. Because the lovers doesn't always have to be romantic partners. It could be any soul bond, like a friend, a family member. And it's like, yeah, it hurts me to see them this way. Or when they hurt, I hurt. There's like that energetic cord showing up here with this. Now, for a small portion of you, yeah, maybe there is a soul tie and things aren't so great right now. That could simply be it if we're looking at a problem. But for a lot of you, I feel like it might just be someone going through a tough one and you feeling it, being the empath that you are when we see this lovers. Now, the good thing, let's get back to the silver lining. So, yeah, we have a little situation happening up here in the front. It's all good. We're not going to hyper focus on it. The thing with the lovers is the Archangel Raphael. I always pay attention to that because this is the Archangel of healing. So remember, I said earlier, this seems to be some sort of healing process or healing journey. So we're going to hope that it continues to improve, especially since this Archangel is here. Some of you, this could be spiritual backup as well. So just know, like, if you're dealing with something, going through something rough, Spirit's got your back here. And you probably have a person that has your back, even if they're not saying anything yet. Let's just keep moving. Let's keep moving. So let's see what the Nine of Wands has. That's a very, very specific message right there in the front. Let's see what the Nine of Wands has going on. So why is that Nine of Wands here, please? Thank you. Okay. All right. This is someone being very cautious about how they think. For a lot of you, it could most remember I was saying like it could be a rejection of like thought processes, habits, behaviors. Like when I see the Four of Cups in reverse underneath the Nine of Wands, it's like no, 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 can't think about that. No, 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 keep that out of my mind. No, no, not dwelling on that. So to me, it does feel like somebody editing their thoughts, which I think could be very helpful. Depending on the situation. Like, I do believe that with a lot of situations, how you view it, your awareness and your focus and how you frame things is one of the most important things. Without going too deep into the weeds, it is probably the most important thing with any situation is the lens at which you view it through. So this could actually be good for a lot of you. Now, this can also be pretty rough. If we're not talking about, someone editing their thoughts, editing their thought process, this can be someone going into a bit of a tailspin, right? Because remember I said with the Nine of Wands, it could be feeling tossed out, very similar to the Five of Pentacles, feeling rejected. And with the Four of Cups in reverse, it's like, I don't know how to think. I don't know how to process this. I don't know how to handle it. So to me, it's either someone editing their thoughts or feeling pushed away or feeling rejected. Simple. We're just going to keep going. We're not going to dwell on it. And remember, I said in the very beginning, this card reminds me of the Four of Cups. So there's something here about the mindset, the mind state, how you're viewing things, which is super important. The lens at which you view it from. Let's go in on the Queen of Pentacles. We'll see what she has. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the Queen of Pentacles here? I'm not a fan of whenever I get like rejection energy unless it's someone like rejecting habits or thought processes that don't serve them. So I'm hoping that's what's being rejected or the walls being built about. But let's go in on because it's like I can't think about it. I can't think about it. Let's go in on the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Beautiful. So it's like a total turnaround in the energy here. So we have the Ten of Pentacles in the upright underneath this Queen of Pentacles. Talk about a gear shift when we get to the back end. So there could be a process that pays off for you huge in the long run, especially, and I hate to say it like this, but it's like The more difficult it is, the better it's going to pay off, because that's how it feels to me intuitively. So if you're going through one right now, to me, it's like the end goal, the payoff is massive. It's huge right here on the back end. Ten of Pentacles is great. And you remember all the high praise I was given to the Queen of Pentacles, the blessings, abundance, cup runneth over. The Ten of Pentacles is very similar. You see the happy family, solid, stable, predictable. This is a card of expansion, wins, victories, and blessings once again. So I do feel if you're going through a difficult process, there will be a big payoff for you. And you will look back on it in retrospect and be like, you know what? It wasn't easy. It sucked, kind of. But you know what? It was worth it. Like, that's how this is feeling to me. So I think that's great. I would say the ending overrides all this. Like, the ending of this reading supersedes all this problem that we have in the front, which is great. So I think this is super claimable energy right here on the back end, and I'm happy that it came out that way. I really am. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So yeah, it was a bit up and down this week, and that's okay. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we have the Five of Cups and the Lovers in the upright. So that was pretty tense, right? So for some of you, maybe there's a person you care for that's going through a rough patch or a rough time in life, and it's like, when they hurt, I hurt. I hate to see them going through this. It's like that kind of vibe. For another portion of you, yeah, maybe you and someone, you're just not in a good period. You're not in a good chapter right now, and that's okay. There is the sadness over it. But we do have the Archangel Raphael with you, which I think is really good. There's a lot of potential healing here. Moving to the center, we do have the Nine of Wands with the Four of Cups. Now, I'll give you the positive and challenge. In the good sense, this is somebody being very cautious with their thought processes and awareness, where it's like, nope, I can't think on that. I can't dwell on this. Think happy thoughts, which I think is great. That's usually a good way to help get through things. But at the same time, this could be someone going into a tailspin, right? Like feeling or getting rejected and not knowing what to think or how to think. Moving to the back end, either way, we have a beautiful payoff or win in the end. We do, because we have the Queen of Pentacles with the Ten of Pentacles in the upright. So all this tension, all this up and down seems like it's going to be worth it in retrospect. So I think it's beautiful. I love the ending of it. It's a payoff. If it's a win, it's a blessing, whatever we want to call it. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out here for you. What do we got for Cancer, please? What do we got? Wheel of Fortune. So even your shadow card has some beauty in it. You know the wheel, it's my luck charm. It's my four-leaf clover of the tarot deck. So even in the shadows, this is good. There is a downside to it, and we will talk about the shadow side of the wheel. But the good thing to me, spirit's on your side, luck is on your side. This is great. And this is great for rapid turnarounds. Because remember, I was saying this energy seems to do a 180, especially when we get back here. So this is really great. I think this is something to claim as well. Now, the downside to the Wheel of Fortune is sometimes it's something that moves rapidly. It's something that happens super quick. It's not like the world where the karmic wheel is spinning slow, like grinding something down. This one's like rapid, it's quick, it's sudden. So if there's anything in this time that I would be cautious about, is like really intense, random, sudden changes in people and situations, because that's very much possible when we have the Wheel of Fortune. And for a small portion of you, you might be a little more risky than you normally are. Like if you're usually a very calm, cautious type of individual, when I see the wheel in the shadows, it's like, oh, screw it, let me try my luck. So luck might be on your side though. So we're just gonna put it down right there, Cancer. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet though. I'm gonna give you the details of the November subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation and you'd like to have a little chat with me, you can book a personal reading with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. You'll see my digital calendar is open for the month of November. They're filling up pretty quick, so if you'd like to have a chat, come over and see me. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of a lovely deck. It's fairly new. It's called Tarot of the Woodland Wardens. It has a whole bunch of fluffy critters. It's really adorable. think everyone would like it. So if you like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, since it is November, what are you most grateful for right now? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.